Hi, I'm Codie Elaine Oliver. I created the popular Black Love docu-series with my husband after seeing the lack of Black people in media and entertainment in happy, loving relationships. We were actually being told there was a Black marriage crisis. So I asked Black people who were married what it takes to make their marriage work. And after more than 200 interviews, I've heard it all. So buckle up and enjoy getting the full story directly from the couples themselves. This is Black Love, The Interviews.
My beginning was
beginning?
Elementary school, because I started at a private school, and then a couple years into it, my parents sent me to public school. So I was like, "Ooh, I get to go to school with neighborhood kids," and I saw him on the second grade hallway, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's so cute! He's so cute! His little slick back hair and his black jeans." And then,
did I have the black? Did I have the members? Not the black. The
not yet. No. That was like middle school. And then after that, I never had the courage to speak to him. So I let that go all the way until high school.
Why you didn't speak to me?
Because we wouldn't have dated then.
Why? You thought I was what?
Yeah, I thought he was like one of those boys that would have made fun of me or did something like that. I thought he was mean because he always had this scowl on his face.
It was just my face. I was a really sweet, terribly mean person. I'm a Gemini.
You still are.
No, I'm.
No, you. I don't listen. I'm gonna tell you something. You can say some. You can say some stuff.
I know how to get to somebody.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that was third grade. I got kicked out of that school, and they were oh so happy to kick me out. They called my mom, like, "Hey, he is done here," and I kicked out of another school. So I hopped around from school to school. I was a smart kid, but I was bad. I had a mouth and I liked to fight. Hopped around from school to school to school. We ended up going to middle school together.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't notice it then
either. I just crept around looking at him. I was like, I was your first stalker.
Real talk. For real. And in retrospect, I probably saw her and she went back here in the deep recess.
Nah, man. I was a short, little fat kid with short hair. It was awful. I had pimples. I was like, I had no way I'm ever going to speak to him.
Loved every minute of it.
No, but high
school. I had a plan, right? So I went to different high school, went to high school, middle school. Then I got to Oak Ridge High School. It was my 9th grade year. I got on the bus and I saw this. And I was like, oh, yo, I had never seen someone so pretty. Because, she looked, our neighborhood was a Black neighborhood. I mean, I was the closest thing you was going to get to, like, white. Or
I lived 4 blocks away from him.
She lived 4 blocks away, never noticed. Sorry. Didn't love you. Didn't notice. So I was, immediately I was struck. I was like, oh. And I had, confidence. I walked right over and sat down. I was like, hey, what's up? What's her name? And she wouldn't look at me. Mm-mm. She sat in the seat. I was 14, this would have made her 15. She sat in the seat and she just kept looking out the window. And I was like, yo, cause she was new to the neighborhood as far as I knew. I was like, yo, so what's your name? She's like, Catrina. And then she looked back out the window and then I said my name. And before I said it, she turned around. I know your name.
I know your name. Courtney.
Okay, now I'm bugging. Cause I had only did one show for this. Didn't nobody know. If you knew that name, like you knew me. Which took me back. So I was like, hey, what's up? And then she's like, mm-hmm. She looked and I was like, those your real eyes? Those your real eyes?
So like, rude.
So I guess that was rude. She just had pretty eyes. And then she wouldn't pay attention to me until I asked if she had a boyfriend. I said, well, you got a boyfriend? And that's when she said, yes, I do. You might know him. His name is David Alvarado. David Alvarado was my homie. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take you from it. Let's have it right now. You know what I'm saying? So, we chopped it up on the rest of the ride, and she smells so good and she looks so good. I was like, yeah, well, all right. And I was already plotting. I was like, man, that's me right there. And that's how
just kind of high and by in the hallway from then. And then me and David broke up over the summer.
Yeah.
Started school the next year, and
I went up in weight class. So
he
my
grew.
Got bigger. Still boxing and still fighting. So I got bigger. I came with the muscles, and I walking through the thing, and I was like, hey. I was like, oh, hey, what's up?
Katrina.
I know your name, girl. I know your name. How you doing? And she was looking at me and I was like, so how you and David? And she said, oh, we broke up. I remember her cocking her head to the side like that. We broke up. I was like, oh, what? All right. And then later on, I saw her. We went to class.
No, this
What?
was the same instance. Because then you said,
oh, why don't you go with me then?
I was like, yeah, whatever.
And then what I said?
Give me a kiss, see what it feels like.
Right in front of her friends.
I was so taken aback. I was
like,
not this type of girl.
Hail Mary. Let's see if it works.
And I was like,
I was like, why don't you go with me then? And then she said, what? And I was like, give me a kiss. And
so bold.
she was like,
okay.
And I was like, hey, let's do it, bet. And
Best
when she
kiss
kissed,
ever.
oh my God. I mean, like when you talk about like sparks flying, I was like, but I kept my, I was like, yeah, you like them lips? It's your boy. It was immediate sparks. I knew I had to have her. And that's how we met. That's how we got it.
Yeah. He got my phone number and that's when we started dating.
My man.
Well, later that afternoon, I saw him get another girl's phone number.
Okay, look, and I walked
up and I was like, hey, hi. And I just kept walking. And I was like,
in my defense, she was a sweetheart. She was into bodybuilding, the young lady.
yeah, this girl was like unbelievably like built for a
Yeah.
15-year-old girl.
Boricua too. So she she was sitting on the steps. I had just left. I was being kind. She was sitting on the steps. I was going to ROTC. And I walked past her and I was like, I'm on a roll today. And I thought, why is she looking so mean? And I turned around and said, why you look so mean? She smiled. I'm not mean. I was like, oh, you got the rapping. And she said, oh, I see your delts are you working out. I was like, delts? Deltoids? What you know about your bodybuild? And her dad's a bodybuilder in New York. They had just moved down, so I got talking. And then I was like, oh, we're talking. All right, well, you have a nice day. And I went on. And when I saw her again, she was like, hey, do you want to talk to me? Yeah, let me get your number. Bianca Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
She coincidentally married this cool dude that I know.
I listen to on the radio all the
That I
time.
listen to radio on radio all the time. And he tells that story on air about his girl. And so I was just getting a number, not for nothing nefarious, not for, And then she just happened to walk up and she hit me and walked past and was like, and then walked on. I was like,
see you.
No. And I immediately left Bianca. Now I think about it in my head, what it looked like. It like in the movie, like Bianca's talking, she's hoping we can build a rapport, and I just immediately leave her, like, I'll let you, and go run after her, like, hey, no. It wasn't even nothing like that. Ain't nobody. Nothing.
Can we sit together on the bus?
So we sat together. Was it that same weekend I asked you to come by the house?
Yep.
I asked you to come by the house and give you a massage?
Hey, yes.
I had, asked to give a massage and listen to music and kissed her a little more. We weren't officially dating or anything, but she told me, she's like, you don't ask somebody to date you like this. If I had somebody to date me, I would want them to bring me flowers in the middle of the night or something crazy, insane. So that night, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I hit her. She had a private line. I called. I said, hey, what you doing? Come on. So I snuck out the house. I grabbed some flowers, cut some flowers off the Navy Yard. I ran up to her and I asked her what she doing, girl. Right, we met on the corner.
Yep.
Remember, you had to get past the dog. We both were sneaky. I snuck out. She snuck out. And we started dating. And then it was two.
Oh no! It was in the beginning of the end of August.
You broke up with me.
Halloween.
It was Halloween. Yeah, I asked you to marry me when I was 15.
Yeah, at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights. Well, because she broke up with me because of her friend. Her friend was jealous. They just wanted your boy. That's all it was. But it's true. Because here's the thing. She started dating me, and then like 2 weeks later, she broke up with me. So, and she knows this now. I made sure that every time, because I got good peripheral. I fought. You know, I got great peripherals. I see everything going over here. So anytime I saw her, I would make sure I looked the saddest, lost puppy dogest.
He was.
And I saw her standing watching me walk, and I was like, oh, I'm about to put it on now, baby. And I just would look so sad. And then she said, hey, she approached me. She said, hey, can you help me with my drill? Because she had joined all. She said, can I look at the drill? While we were at her house, we were going over there.
I think I waited too long for this. I don't care what anybody else thinks.
It wasn't. Look, here's the funny part about it too. It was no secret that was going to happen because there was some other factors going into our relationship that she really, really liked. Not that I was cute or anything. I had shoulders. It was some big dude that had scared her in her class. Big, tall dude. And the thing was, when I was a kid, I was known for jumping on a big dude and breaking his face. So she came to me like teary-eyed. He said he was gonna beat me up. What did he say? What is this dude?
He threatened to do something to me.
And she was really scared in class. So she told me. I was all right. So I went and did what I did. And then old boy came up to her when she was with me, and what he said.
He just really apologized very sincerely. And I'm like, what did you do?
And I never told her. I said, it's not your business. It's all good. I did what I did what I needed to do to old boy. And the thing of it is, he's a big boy, but he knew it was gonna happen. So he came and apologized, and then anytime he would see us, he'd be like, hey, how's it going? And that really bugged out. She's like, what did you do?
So at least I knew he was gonna take care of me.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? We forgot. You know what's the first thing she did when we started dating?
Oh, jeez.
She cracked me in the jaw.
That was your fault.
Hey. See, you know what? It was my fault because I didn't expect this sweet princess to be on her P's and Q's. Now, at the time I was going up. I was fighting flyweight, and I was handy, you know. And we said to kiss. You know, we kissed. This was before I asked her to be my girlfriend. So we had to kiss. I'm walking her home, and I'm like, girl, you so crazy.
Yeah, you gonna do that.
She clocked me. Yeah, you didn't do it with a left. You did it with a right.
I got
which
brothers.
Was interesting. You know what I mean? I was like, and it was like, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, everything, the potential of my everything is in her right then and there. No woman has ever put her hands on me, let alone get close enough to clock me. And it was good. It was a good right. It was good. It was solid. I was like, okay, all right. That's when we found out. That was just. My dad was bold. My daddy bold. Okay, it turns out, very similar situation with my mom and dad, with us. You know, my dad met my mom one weekend. He was like, yo, I'll walk you home. They danced the night at the joint. And he was dressed all white, looking good. He danced like James Brown sing. Amazing singer. He was out the Marines. He was a Marine. And he asked could he walk her home. They danced and stuff. So walk her home. She said, nah. The very next weekend, they came back. She came back looking for him. He came back looking for her. Can I walk you home? They danced. Had a good time. Can I walk you home? She said, yeah. He walked me home. Walks her home. Steps her right up to the steps, up to the door. She was going through a divorce with a terrible person. This dude is like this. My daddy like this. They're like 6'2", 265 at the time. He was like 225. So he looked like a little man. It's like, he was like, all right, here you go, sweetheart. Got her number. Called her that night. Asked her to marry me. Word. He wouldn't let her off the phone. He talked for hours. And then she said, okay, well, he broke her down. She said, if you were still around in a year, I will marry you. 6 months later, they were married.
So what made you propose?
At 15, because I knew she was the woman of my dreams. I knew for a fact. And when I say that, I don't say that like, oh, I was the woman of my dreams, you know, in retrospect. No, it was from Jump Street. My mom, we would have conversations. My mom always said that I had the gift of sight, right? Because I dream about things. And they would come true. And she does too. And she would talk to me about this girl. She said, it looked like you were dating a Puerto Rican. And her mother was this really, really short woman, white or Spanish or something. I don't know what she was. She was on the corner with her, and the girl was crying, and you got in the car and sped off. That actually ended up
That happened.
Like 5-7 years later. Because I was a mother.
Yeah.
But her mom's 4'9". I didn't know that when I first saw her. From the minute I saw it, when I say the woman of my dreams, it's like I would have visions of like the future and like what my wife would look like, and you know, my ideal, perfect, beautiful, the physical part of it. Woman, hair, everything, and that was her. Now I'd say that earlier when I said in retrospect, maybe I saw her and she went into deep recesses of my mind. I think maybe I did see her one day, and I was like, oh my god. And then later on, you're that girl, not knowing it was actually the girl that I saw. But she was the woman of my dreams. I wanted to be with her forever. And I was a mannish little boy.
Oh God.
Thought I was grown. I was smart. In college, in high school. I was like, yeah, you the one. And we were at Halloween Horror Nights. She paid for it.
Well, you'd never been. He'd never been to a theme park. And I'm like, I was a kid. I went to Disney like 4 or 5 times a month because my friend's mom worked there. So they were black people. And so I was theme parked out. We went all over the country, my family and I, at theme parks. So I was like, oh, you gotta go.
My parents was like, no, what you gonna do? You got a theme park at the house. You got a theme park in the backyard. Look at that. Let's go all the way down to the lake. Don't get in the lake, but you can slide down there. That's your theme park. That's what my parents were. I loved it. I thought my house was a theme park until I went to a theme park, a real theme park. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What? I've lived right up the street from this the whole time?
Yes.
Your parents have kept you in the door.
What did you say?
I looked around because it was a little weird. I mean, I'm a 16-year-old.
Tons of people
15.
walking. I mean, I'm on my knees. You see how young I look.
And I'm like, oh, yes. Just get up.
Look,
I was very shy. I just stuff like that kind of embarrassed me. So I was very happy, but I was like, we're teenagers. I was very realistic. But I said yes.
She said yeah. And that was it. Right?
Not knowing
that I was going to marry her. Because tons of kids were like, yeah, I asked her to marry me, But they don't ever get married. And if they do, they're done in a year. That didn't happen with us. So when I get 18, as soon as I'm able to take you down to marry. And we went through makeups to breakups from that point on.
He was too young to be settled down. We know that now.
That horse. It just figured out that he got legs to really run. They can run fast. You let them out in the wild, they run fast. They're like, I got the power. Yeah, that was me. I was untamed. And she was a sweetheart. That was the thing. She was so sweet with me, and she's the most sweetest princess. She would get misty-eyed if you raised your voice. I loved her, but that wasn't going to keep me like it needed to keep.
No.
When she changed into sit down, I was like, we had some real breakups to make up. She left me. She left. You know what she did? She left me.
You know what?
Left
you
me.
deserve to be left because you gave me my CDs back.
That's called. You're so stupid.
And you know what's crazy? When he did that, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to your house. And I didn't tell him this with my best friend. I'm like, we're going to go to his house and I'm going to get all the clothes that I bought him and the games and the game system. So I went and he wasn't home. And his dad let me in and he let me take all that stuff back. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, he thought it was hilarious because he saw the makeups to breakups. He's like, oh, I'm going to watch him pay for that because my dad knew I wasn't going to. She left me. We were working. I was high strung. Like I said, I was still fighting. I had a lot of anger. I was high strung. I was angry a lot. From the age of like 15 to 17. My 15 to 17, going to 18. This was a big period of makeups to breakups. We were dating, 1.5 years, 2 years. Mm-hmm. She left me. Like, I didn't know I was left. That was the problem. She still would come to church with me and my mama, but I didn't know she had left me and was dating another dude. That is where I lost my mind. And I went through like a 4-month period where I stopped going to school. I cried at the drop of a hat. I started working at Universal.
He would sit outside my window at my apartment, like in the rain. And I come home, my roommate would be like, Neil is outside. And I'm like,
it's true. I would sit out there.
Outside again.
And then one time she told me, she said, okay, we can talk. Come here. And she never showed up. She went to Miami. I was so hurt. I was crying all the time. My parents had to sit there and watch me go through this superbly horrible breakup, like heartbreak. I was just heartbroken. And I remember I got a job at Universal Studios. This was 17. I got a job at Universal Studios, and I would watch couples. I had to survey them, and I would see a couple. I gotta go, you know? And then I finally got over it. I finally found my way. I prayed about it. I wrote a letter to her, gave it to her, and it was over. And then I was on the way to work, and I saw the dude she was dating car behind me. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy this. Ooh. You know, and he was a taller dude, you know, since I was, you know, I already know how I like to hurt big people. It was her in the car. And she got out the car, the Universal Studios. It was something out of a movie. I got out the car, ready to crack her, and crack the dude in the teeth, and then she got out the car, and she just stood there, looked at me, and I stood there and looked at her, and we just stared at each other, and then we walked towards each other. And did you read the letter at that point? No, she hadn't read the letter. The letter was like,
I wouldn't have been there.
I'm doing just fine. That song had just came, and that started the process of getting going back together. It was a little rocky. I ended up having to get the dude messing up, but it was a whole bunch of other stuff that had to go involved. He ended up passed out in the back of our car, and we had to drive him to his house and get rid of him. I had to get rid of him because, this was mine. I took her back. And then how long later you were pregnant? You got pregnant like, what, 4 months later?
4 months later? Yeah.
She got pregnant like 4 months later. She was 18, I was 17. I was still in high school.
You were still in high school.
I was walking around with the little babies. They like, hey, y'all see this? Look at that, that's mine. And some of the teachers would be like, they were like, it's not gonna work,
Your agent was like, your career is over.
Your career is over.
She was like, just give it up for adoption. I'm like, okay, we need to talk because that's not gonna happen.
I was in the running for a scholarship to West Point. That's
what I
figured I was.
And I was supposed to go in the Air Force.
And we both lost that. They didn't say, you have to sign over full custody. The Army, they're not going to pay for your child and that education. And I wasn't going to sign it over. So it went to another girl, Narelisa Quiles. She washed out after 3 months. Couldn't take the cold. She was pregnant. And that's when, I was there for her. Like, I would feed her and give her cakes and creams and cookies.
Oh, you fed the
heck
out of me.
But then, I had a wandering eye. I was a young man, 17, and realizing that I had those legs to run. And so then there were like these years of trying to get me to act right. When I don't know which. I'm the dude that you see in the picture with the girl. That's not me. It's not me.
That wasn't me.
I saw you. I saw the picture. It's like, babe, that you are crazy right now.
Where you got meningitis, Neil? Where'd you get that?
I didn't get no meningitis. What you talking about? The doctor said you had meningitis. Not me. I had a headache. Is what I had because I was dehydrated.
Oh gosh.
Real hard. I'm dehydrated.
Yeah, those were some crazy years.
Yeah. And she stuck. You know what? She stuck with me. She tried to stick with me. She would break up with me, and then she finally was like, "Yo, I'm done. Either we're gonna go to counseling or this is done." And we had been married less than a year by this point when I finally was just like, you know what? If you're not going to act right, you're not going to go to counseling, I can't do this anymore. Because we got back together at 17. She got pregnant with Bishop. We had him. We were trying to make a run of it, a go of it. And just, I was no good. And then Ethan happened. I was no good. Then we broke up and got back together. Ethan happened. And I was like, oh, that's when I did the thing. So we got back together. I was like, what, 19, 18? I just like 18, we got back together. She said, you got to come over my house right now. And I came over her house, and she came out the door crying. I was like, oh, I know what's happening. Yeah. You about to say you pregnant. It's just like, and she does this thing when she blinks, and immediately her eyes turn red, and then there's water, and I already knew what was up. I said, all right, bet, boom, I'll be right back. I went, got every bit of change I got, actual money. I went and got an apartment. I said, you're moving in with me. We're going to do this right. I'm sorry. You forget all of that. I'm here. I love you from my mind. And then I still messed up. I still messed up after that. Like, out of the house, I still, and girls calling on the phone and stuff like that. And she was like, I ripped the phone out the wall. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
What was I thinking? Like, what? I in retrospect, I think to myself, I was like, what was I thinking?
You were a kid.
I was a kid.
You were a kid trying to play house.
Girl calling the house. And I'm like, and Catrina's on the phone like, yes, you say, who are you? Who are you? And blah, blah, blah.
I'm like, this is
You
too much
wrong,
stress.
Codie. You wrong. No, but she was like, yo, and I was like, man, put the phone down. Put the phone, and I yanked it out the wall. I'd be like, and then she was like,
So now we ain't got no phone.
oh, so now we ain't got no phone. So now we ain't got no phone because you tripping. I said, I'm not tripping. I don't know who that girl was that got our number that's not listed. I don't know what you're talking about. You were crazy. Oh my God. And it was, it was more makeups to break up.
Oh my God. He had so many things thrown at him and just...
I became real good at dodging. At one time, look, right when I got my first movie, Thailand, and I was about to leave, I walked in she was in my parents' room, laying down watching TV. I walked in there, and she looked at me and just threw the remote and cut me right here. For real.
Like, I don't know what you doing, but you up to no good.
And I didn't do nothing at that point. I was like, that's why it caught me off guard. I was like, hey, baby. And I had to cut. I said, oh my God, I gotta work. And I ended up getting it healed before I had to start filming. But I was like, it's my first movie. And we got into such a fight.
Yeah, and a lot of it was me trying to just separate myself from him and him coming back like, no, I'm sorry. It was the typical,
she kept trying to leave.
I'm trying to leave, but
I can't.
I love you. No. You need to grow up.
She kept, that's what she wanted me to do. We knew that the thing was there for us to be that married couple that we wanted to be. It's just, I was a hoe. I mean, I was young and I just like,
yeah, this was not dealt with grace at all. I was too young to even like.
Oh, she would fight me. She jumped off the bed one time.
Yeah, you told me.
Clear like 4 feet. Like, I was like, you know what? Because she was on the bed and she was like, and she was yelling. And I was like, you know what? If you bad, do something then. Why don't you do something?
No, you said, come on. I said, okay.
She leapt at me and just, and I was like, what you doing? I remember I would always laugh at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you crazy.
I knew inside what he was. I knew he wanted to be a good man, but it was the thing of when and can I really wait for that? Do I love him enough to do that? Because I in fact, I still never have. I don't have his last name. But yeah, it was even when we got married, it was like, wait a minute, I don't know if it's gonna work. Should I change my last name? No, I'm gonna keep my last name.
You told me you did that because of the logistics of it all.
And that's also the logistics.
You know what? You told me that it would take too much paperwork.
But yeah, I knew deep somewhere in there that this guy was gonna emerge. Because we have way too many things in common. We are truly best friends.
We laughed so much. I mean, like, we just die laughing at just random things. You know, we could talk about anything. There was so much that was cool there. It was just, he got this one thing right now. Mm-hmm. Turns out I found out later my dad did it too. I found that out much later in life. I was like, oh, and my dad, who was a god, like, never do anything wrong. Turns out he was a hoe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And my mom laughs. She's like, oh, he didn't tell you. You didn't know. Why don't you tell her about your other daughter, Neil? Why don't you go ahead and tell her? Daddy. Yeah, but you know, this is the 80s, man. You know, everybody got outside kids.
Everybody got an outside kid. No.
What's up, guys? This is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we've got some exciting news for you all.
Now, most of you know us from season 4 of The Black Love Doc, but what you might not know is that Anthony and I have been successful life and relationship coaches for over 20 years.
That's right. And we're bringing our revolutionary style to our brand new podcast, The Amazing Clarks. Every week, we're going to get down to the emotional, mental, and energetic causes underlying the lack of your success in your romantic life and in your personal life.
And we'll be giving you tangible advice that will get you the wins that you deserve.
Don't believe us? Tune in each week, and I guarantee you that you're going to find out right away why we have an industry-shattering 90% client success rate.
So make sure to keep an eye out for our brand new podcast, The Amazing Clarks, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I mean, and then another thing too is she did, in all fairness, keep, trying to stand her ground and be like, I'm done with this. I'm out.
Well, we separated. I moved in with my mom. I was like, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna become a CO. I'm gonna move on with my life.
Became a CO.
I did all that. Corrections officer.
Yeah, in a mental ward. Sergeant Robinson. Crazy. I wasn't gonna stand for that. Because what happened? So we had to make ups the breakups. I would do right for a few months, 6 months, and then I'd be a fool. And then she did this thing, and I suggest every woman do this to her man at least one time. I came home and the house smelled like cleaning products. Oh, yeah. That story? You all right if I tell this story?
Oh yeah, go right ahead. I love this story.
Because now, this is an anecdote. This is something I tell people that I know, but this is a story. I came inside the house smelling like cleaning products. She couldn't cook that well at the time.
This is still year 1 of marriage.
Cleaning products. I was like, hey. She opened the door. She was like, hey, baby, come here. She closed the door. She locked the door. I should have noticed something when she locked it. The way she locked it. Something angry about the way she locked the door. House smelling like cleaning products. She lays me down right there in the middle of the
living room floor.
The living room floor. She gets on top of me, rubbing on me. I was like, baby, what's going on here? Midnight, it's an afternoon delight. She starts kissing me on my neck. And then she pulls up as I'm like, she pulls up. Did you sleep with that girl, Danielle? What? Did you sleep with that girl? Mm-hmm. Man, when a dude get really caught off, even a dude that's a player, he'd be like, man,
the shock on your face told everything.
Man, go on, stop playing. She's like, no, did you? And then she reached behind her back and she pulled out the IM messages on the computer. I wasn't messing around. But it just so happened that this former girl had came in IM me, found my stuff at IM me, and we were going back and forth. We were talking about the past. Which was, see, what you do in the dark will come to the light. Oh, yeah. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. Sin is expensive. Okay? And your boy was sinning. This was time had passed. And they were cool. They were friends at one point. That's why if she ever see it, there's gonna be some furniture moving. You know what I'm saying? But so she pulled up, she showed me the IMs, and she said, don't you lie to me. I got that. I pushed her off of me. I said, get out of here. You crazy. I ain't even got time for this. You sound stupid. She starts going in there. She know how I love cleanliness. I don't like stuff to be broken. So she cleaned up everything only to go in there and start breaking stuff.
Every day.
How do you think I'm gonna do it? Boom. And she starts breaking glass. I said, hey, you better stop. And then I started using the man voice. Hey, stop. And she's like, what? And I grabbed her, because I was warned. I said, woman, and I grabbed her like this. And as I grabbed her, she hopped the loogie, spitting.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Hold on. No, I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't. She spit in my eye. Boom. That immediately is a surprise attack. Surprise attack. I back up. She had a pipe or a piece of wood or something like this sitting there. She knows me. She knows I'm a fighter, right? She grabs it, drops low, bashes me on my shin.
You know what? Now you're just making stuff up.
No, because you hit me on the shin. She hit me on the shin, and it was my left one, not my right one, not the strong one. She hit me on the left. I grabbed it, and she ran into her room. There's a split floor plan like this. She ran into the room and locked the door. Now, I was upset, but I was laughing at the same time. I had got so confident. Remember the same woman that gave me the surprise jar? She had this set up perfectly. It was all misdirection. I don't know whether you meant to have that thing there, but you hit me in the leg with that in the shit. I mean, it was in one motion. Boom, shot, done. And left me out there like,
you gonna think about this.
Like, I was almost crying, laughing, and hurt. And that was when we got through some things. We tried to work it out, and then I ended up moving to LA.
Yeah.
I ended up thinking we were still together.
No,
saw me
no.
off, gave me a little booklet.
Oh yeah, I made him a booklet, pictures and everything.
She moved out of when I moved. She moved out of her parents' house. Stopped answering my phone calls. It was a wrap. I had no rights. And then I was doing all right in LA. I was doing all right. I started moving with my cousin to the hills, and I got my first job. And things were gonna go this way. I was like, I'm gonna show her who she thinks she is. Forget her. I'm done. And one night I had this dream. This dream killed me, and I remember that hurt. The only time I ever felt hurt, like true hurt, and it was like I lost someone that was really dear to me. You know what I mean? Like my grandmother, something like that, or my brothers who passed away. I had never felt that hurt for anything or anyone. I got an extremely high tolerance for pain, but when it came to this woman right here, that dream was enough to have me, you know, wake up, boo-hoo crying. And it was weird because I was over at another girl's house, boo-hoo crying. She didn't know why. I went up, and I remember getting up and going into the gym that night, going to work out. And I was working out and still thinking about that dream. So I called her the next day, and she actually answered the phone. Not only did she answer the phone, she said, so what's up? We talked for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I was already on the plane going back. I had, the next day after I talked to her, I had a flight back to Florida because I was going to go see another girl. Because we were over. It was done.
Had a little house and everything.
She had a little house and everything. The kid, she was a single mom doing her due diligence. And we talked for 4 hours until my phone died. And I said, when I got off the plane, she was there with 2 boys in the stroller. And I was like, I didn't come back to LA. Mm-mm. Even though my stuff was out here, I lived out here, I didn't come. I had a truck still out here. She took me to her house. Had it smell like fried chicken, my favorite. And we got back together from then on. And that was like when we were 20. I was 22. 23. I was turning 22.
Yep.
And that's when I was a tamed horse. That's what she said. She said, you seem like a tamed horse. I was like, for you, baby. Let's do this. That was a turning point. That was a turning point. And it wasn't easy.
I don't know. I feel a little bit like you were like, okay, now that I can see she can live without me. I got to come back. She can't live without me.
She could have, dude. She was doing just fine. She was doing just fine. And I was even like, at one point she was dating another dude, and my homie was gonna go over there and see him. I had some, I'll be honest, I was gonna handle that. Because no, you're not allowed. I don't care if we're not together. You're not allowed to see anybody else. I remember when she called and she said, I'm gonna call the police on you if you even mention my name. Don't come near me. She was dead serious, and that's when I was like,
I gotta get her back. I know she just said she's gonna call the police, but I gotta get her back.
It's just a question of wanting one thing more than the other. You know what I mean? Like, I had to realize that everything all the pieces of my happiness came from the happiest times of my life, the happiest things that I can remember, all the joy. Even when even when I was acting and my career was going better, that high that I got was still not like the high that I got when we were cool. Right. We could just sit and talk. So that was a turning point. It was Rocky.
He had to spend as many years making up as he did.
Remember the pastor told us? So the pastor said, hey, I get you coming back, and now you're working all the time. You're doing all these things right, but you got to give her. How long was you messing up? You got to give her at least that amount of time. And you doing right to get back at least to zero.
I mean, and it was like, now you say you're going out. I'm like, please go, have fun.
And then there was a time
where it was like, where are you going?
If I was going out, she want to get that phone, see what was going on. I remember, and it's so funny now because I don't have those issues of like, where my phone? And remember being like,
what if she finds out my passcode?
And that's not a good fit. And then I remember turning around, why would I want to put myself through that? What am I doing? And it was a process of learning because I would start coming back and forth to LA, and women were trying, I'm not Superman, right? I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to say no to all these beautiful, sexy, naked women that want my body inside this party right now. I just don't go to that party because the respect I have for my wife, because I know that that's at that party. So I stay away from stuff like that. And it makes it which makes me even stronger for when I am in a situation and I see some foolishness going on. I'm like, man, I'm out of here, dog. I gotta go home.
Yeah. And now it's like going to rap parties and hearing how he's, oh my God, all he does is talk about you and his family, and Neil's such a great family guy. No, that didn't happen 15 years ago.
They exaggerate. No, I do talk about it. And you know, one of the things about like, people see our relationship and they're like, oh my God.
I'm like, you don't know what it took to get here.
If you knew what we had to do to get here,
you might be hesitant.
You know, you might be hesitant because a lot of people say, I would never stand for someone cheating on me. I would never stand for someone. She was good enough to do. I had, you know, the women, and you know, we had to. You never know what you can take until you have to take it, until you want to take it.
Yeah.
You know, and the one thing that was cool about us is that we wanted it to work. So, even when it wasn't here, it was somewhere.
Yeah.
Where we both wanted it to work. We both wanted this thing. And I just think she changed individually as well. It wasn't all Neil Brown doing. Okay. She changed in a lot of ways. She stopped being so argumentative, so angry about, you know, nothing. You know, she stopped thinking that everything had to be this fairy tale, like, oh, it must be perfect. Here's one of her things. She thought people who in love never need to argue.
Yeah.
That love shouldn't be this much work. I was like, au contraire, mon frère.
I'm like, what do you
First of all love is work. It's not easy. That other stuff, that's lust, that's like.
Yeah.
Work. Love is work, compromise, sacrifice, and a whole bunch of laughter in between. Yeah. That's all love is. The other things, passion, lust, all that comes the other side of it. That's just something that's primal. Love, you cannot love somebody, just love somebody. You have to learn to love somebody. Because until you're tested, you don't know what your real capacity for actual love is. Yeah, until you know that person, because like you can say you love this person perfectly deaf and all this stuff like that, and then they end up
going bald, or losing an arm.
Like I don't feel the same. Well, then guess what? You weren't in love.
No.
Because nothing should change that. I mean, you may have to wipe this person's behind eventually someday. And you don't need to be able to blink an eye. If you love them, you ain't gonna blink an eye. You'll wipe my booty if I want you to wipe my booty.
Oh, it depends on what you had to eat.
You stupid. But, you know, and that's something my dad told me that I didn't understand. And he said, if you didn't get it in 10 years, you ain't gonna never get it. So he gave me that time. And I have increasingly got it. And we have good blueprints for parents, even though I told you my dad. I didn't know though. I didn't know they kept it from me. You know?
Apparently, my parents had a lot of work to do.
Apparently, they
By
did.
the time I came along, I didn't know about that. To me, my parents just had a great relationship. My dad worked hard. My mom cleaned and cooked, and dad had the big piece of chicken, and it was just all gravy. I had no idea how much work they had done because I came 10 years after the first kid.
Yeah, she got 5.
Yeah,
it's 5
siblings.
It's 5 of them. Out of this little 4'9" woman, she's full of fury. That's what she had to turn into.
But both our parents were married for
my parents are a month. It turns out they're a month or 2 apart. The
wedding.
The wedding date.
No, it's the same month.
No, it's the same year. It's days apart.
Yeah.
It's like they were married. They've been married the exact same amount of years and all that. It was bad. And it was a lot of fights and a lot of arguing. And you know, just because 2 people argue all the time don't mean they're not desperately and passionately in love. And just because 2 people don't argue don't mean that they are.
Mm-hmm.
We are both feisty people. And my messing up gave her the right to bring out her feistiness even more.
Yes.
So it was just gasoline. I mean, it was like gasoline on fire, and we burn hot because we love each other so much on this end. We have so much passion for each other on this end. So you know we got passion on this end, you know. So we're passionately in love and we're passionately in hate. I can't stand your love. You know those breakups that make us those ups and downs. You feel like, because can't no one make me as happy as this woman,
or as mad.
Make me as mad. Because boy, she can make me mad. She knows the buttons to push, and she knows when she pushes them, they really mean something. So even if she doesn't mean it, she know it'll mess my soul up for a little while, you know. Being in our house, you know, I deserved it, you know. But I made it a point. I was gonna just be, and I would have to pray about this all the time and study. And later in life, I got more diligent about my Bible study and just taking in as much good as I can so that I can put out more good. It was a difficult process, but I wanted it. That was the thing. We had to always decide, okay, do we want the same thing? Because opposites attract, but similarities keep you together.
Yes.
So do we want the same? Are we going the same road? If we can agree on that, I can take these ups and downs, these bumps, these kicks, because I deserve them. And she had to take a bunch of them too. She's kind of sat down into it. And was like, okay, I'm gonna let you go through this process. I'm gonna support you. The thing of it was like coming back and forth. I was out here for 3 or 4 or 5 months at a time away from her. They gave her time to breathe and to mend and just focus on the work and focus on the children and vice versa. We focusing on the work and trying to get them out here. I would sit down, I would be in my apartment just crying on the floor at night about just praying and crying about how bad I wanted them to be there, how much I wanted to make it so that I can have them here with me. So I was like, oh, well, if I feel like that, then I gotta have the capacity for being the husband that she wants and deserves and needs. But the doghouse was real. It was really real. Because everything she said was valid, you know? And I was like, well, you can't keep putting me in a box like this other dude.
Yeah,
you did the same thing. I was like, I know, but I'm doing it right now.
No, that don't matter.
It don't matter. And I was like, well, you can't keep pushing it down. At some point,
you have to.
And through a lot of prayer, she realized, all right, well, I'm gonna stop judging them for that,
and I'm gonna start looking at you and what you're doing now. That was hard to do, but I did it.
Yeah, because she, as
look, you had to show me. You had to prove yourself.
I can't prove myself.
Yeah,
I wanted to though. I think that men that take it, unfortunately, they don't have as much strength as they thought they did. It's always easy to say. You can say anything, but can you take
Can you eat that much shit?
Can you eat them? Whoa, potty mouth. Can you eat that much shit? Can you? Like, because and is it worth it? She isn't abusive to me. I'm not abusive to her. We may get at each other, yell at each other, pick each other apart, but this is the same, and we want the same thing.
I also don't think you would have had that much money if you had to pay child support and all that.
This is true.
Oh, they know it's not perfect. Oh, we have instilled that. And also they know, don't take these relationships that you have now so serious. Because
you're learning.
Yeah.
You're learning. Don't think you're going to jump out the gate and have this happen.
No. They're because they watched us grow up too, and they watched, dad have to eat shit. And so they know it's not going to be perfect.
Head yelling, and then they see me go, and then they look at me. Y'all gotta know when you're quiet.
But then they know, okay, your dad's coming home. I want everything clean. I want this done. Y'all gonna clean his car. Y'all gonna wash it, wax it, and take care of your father.
She put him on notice.
Because that's what we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Take care of dad. Take care of mom.
And one of the big things they know is to just be cool. Just be friends. Listen, her mom and dad, they had 2 other daughters. These were the good husbands.
They had weddings.
Guys, they got to have big weddings, these huge weddings, which we did not have. These were the guys that they got to give, the girls they got to give were given away. Unfortunately, my wife was not. And these men are the most horrible people. Whores that never stopped, never got it. I was very young.
And
it's a certain amount of that may
us.
be expected. They're 10 years old enough. They're doing this stuff at 40 something, with their children in the house, with the, in this family life. And they're just horrible. And they ended up all in divorce. And he left, one of them left her for somebody else who left her husband for him. And just
Craziness.
left her ass out. She's doing so just fine right now, though. She went and got her RN. She's an RN, getting money, getting paid. Her life looking good. You know, she's doing just fine without being married. But
You
and her
were
sister,
the black sheep.
I was the black sheep. I was the one that even the other dudes were like,
You're gonna be an actor. You're just gonna be an actor.
You're gonna be an actor, really? You're from Florida. You know what? And you don't know how to treat her. And you're just never gonna be right. And any problems we have is because of him. Guess who is the favorite?
Oh, they can't
When
get
her
him out.
father was on his deathbed, which he did not pass away, thank God. He called me and he said, you know, Neil, you the only one that ever done me right. You the only one that ever did my daughter right and did my family right. You did right by my wife. You did right by me. That's how he talked. He did right by me. And I just want you to know I can be all right knowing that my daughter's with you. And that was the most touching thing that I could hear from that man, because he apparently was mean and cold.
He had no idea.
I had no idea. He was always cool with me. It's really hard to dislike me. You know? I mean, most of the time, dislike me, I'm just a ass. So we cool. I mean, we just cool. You know, I'm a cool dude. So, you know, they got all that and they're not together. 15, 17, 20 years and they break up. My sister and her husband. No, he couldn't get it together. That's what my dad said. You got 10 years.
But you can make it.
You can make it. I mean, you know, but you have to want to. You really have to want to more than you want to, because what is it? You have to know what does that get you. What does that get you? And so you have to be more. You have to be more comfortable in who you are and be happy with who you are. Most of the guys that do that stuff, they're not happy with who they are. They're completely not unhappy.
I'm advocating for not getting married at 18. And
Yeah,
19
date.
years
Get
old.
outside your box. Go out there and see what it is you like, and see. But find happiness in yourself first, because otherwise you're going to go after this woman and that woman, because they're just little hits. Some people do it with drugs. Some people do it with women. Some people do it with both. You know, you have to be happy and like you before you can actually offer this other person
anything.
because otherwise you're just offering them half of you. Trying to find happiness outside of that.
Yeah. Grass is not greener.
No.